Hey guys, Herbal Prepper here, and I get the question often, what skill would it take for someone to have to actually join your MAG? For those of you that don't know, a MAG is a mutual assistance or mutual aid group. Now this is for some people a small group, this is for some people a larger group. MAGs typically are a better system to work with than what you would call a bug out group. So if you have people you say, oh, that's my bug out group. Here's what I found. Okay guys, when you have a bug out group, these are people that you are typically going to bug out with, so leave with. This becomes a very difficult task if you have someone that lives 10 minutes away to someone that lives 20 minutes away. Let me explain to you quickly why. You might have 3 people in your group and you plan all to bug out together. You all live basically in the same vicinity. One has a wife that works nights. One has a wife that has a sporadic schedule, never really, maybe, not steady, so doesn't kind of know when she's working, whatever. Maybe she doesn't work too far. And the other has kids, okay? So, boom, crap hits the fan. You're ready to bug out. You go, hey guys, where you at? I'm ready to go. If you even have a phone, if you have your radios, if CBs, whatever. Guy says, well, I can't get to the location. I got to get my wife first. And then the other one says, I got to get my kids out of school, man. There's really, So that group, okay, so bug out group becomes a very difficult group because then you may develop plans to all bug out together and those plans shatter at the time that whatever it is that you might feel the need to bug out, okay? So a mutual assistance or a mutual aid group is really one that is for after you've already reached your rally point or your bug out location. When everyone safely arrives, or however it is that you've planned it, if everyone's here except for one person, you might have a rescue mission, okay? So whatever y'all choose to do at that point. But that's what we've ultimately done in our group. We have a MAG, we have people that we have brought together that have skills that either we are weak in certain aspects or we just want so that we don't have to do. And I'm going to explain a few here. Let me just say, guys, I'm very blessed, very grateful. I have a pretty well-rounded MAG. Our MAG is extremely loving and caring. We really all get along very well, and that's very difficult because you might have some people that believe a different thing than others. So some might say the end of the world's coming, while other ones might say it's going to be a zombie apocalypse, and some might say, oh, money's going to crash, civilians are going to go crazy, whatever. So it's very, very difficult to find like-minded people that are all into prepping and that are all also having their own life with very good skills in that aspect, okay? So let me just give you, I think I have 10, maybe 11 here that I think are very important to have. And if you were to knock on my door and say, here's my resume, here's the skills that I have, could I be in your group? I would thoroughly look over it and say yes or no. So most of these you would be accepted after we go through a protocol system that me and my MAG have set up. Okay, so a lot of these I already have within my MAG, whether it be the same person has these abilities in 2 different areas or I have 2 different people in this aspect. But it's very important to me, so let me explain these to you. An herbalist. No, I'm not biased at all there, guys. I think being an herbalist, it's very important. I think it's something that's really overlooked. Now, a lot of bush guys, a lot of bush people, they have some experience with herbs, but they might not have as much experience with actually preparations. And, they might know, oh, you can, take yarrow and put it on a wound, but they might not know how to use it in different ways. So that's very important to have someone herbal minded, okay? So the next one, medical. That's a given, guys. Anyone that has medical experience. Doctors are great, but so are nurses and so are paramedics, and anybody that has really went through formal training is going to be a very, very big asset to your group, okay? So I think that's a given. Second one that I think an innovative or even an inventive person. Let me explain the difference there, guys. An innovative person is someone that can improve or look at something and improve it, something that's already existing. An inventive person is someone that can step back, see everything, and boom, make something out of nothing. And those are going to be really, really good people to have. Reason being is, depending on what you think is going to happen, there's going to be a lot of junk laying around. And you're going to see this junk and you might look at it and go, well, that's just junk. And I did a video not too long ago on, you know, scavenging after the crap hits the fan. So these garbage things that we throw away now are going to be very, very important later on. So you need someone that can look at something and, you know, it looks like this now, but later it's going to be this. You know, maybe someone that can turn a smoker from, like an old stove into a smoker so you can preserve meat. Somebody like that. Very, very good asset, okay? Or, like I said, or an innovative person as well. The next person, a tactical person. Now, we've got this covered in our group. However, if you could get someone that's highly skilled tactical-wise, and I mean highly skilled, so gunsmithing, OPSEC, of course military experience, most likely they're going to have military experience. So someone that is very, very tactical minded, that is going to be an asset. Now, there are a lot of men and women that served in the military, but it's very difficult to get that mindset with also being able to work with a group setting. You know, in the military, they are ranking systems, and depending on how you run your mag, you may have a ranking system, or you may have more of a everybody's kind of equal and we all submit to the person that we know has more knowledge in a certain area. That's sort of the way we run our mag, you know. Obviously, if we have an OPSEC question, that we're not going to go to our cook, okay? So our cook may know about OPSEC, but the fact of the matter is you want to have a well-oiled machine here. You want to have something that's going to run smoothly. At no point in time do you need your tactical OPSEC guy cooking dinner for you, for 25 people on a daily basis, okay? You don't want to have that, okay? So that brings me to my next point. A cook, and I just don't mean, I mean, I'm a good cook, okay? I'm not trying to toot my horn here, but I'm a pretty good cook. But to cook on a scale of 25 people, let's just say 25 people, and you would say, well, golly, that's a lot of people. Let me just give it to you like this. You've got yourself and your family. Let's say each of you have a husband or a wife. You know, for me, it would be my husband and my child. So there's 3. You know, you've got maybe 2 or 3 other guys, and they have the same amount of people, maybe more. Like I said, that adds up eventually. So that's just 3 people just within my household, and then you've got a few of the other guys within my group. They've got their family, okay? And they may feel at the time that they're only going to have 5 people, and then maybe a new baby comes along. So you've got to consider that, guys. You've got to consider someone that's going to cook breakfast and dinner on a large scale and be able to handle that on a daily basis, okay? A teacher, okay? This is something we have in our group. We have a teacher in our group. This is a skill that is highly overlooked, much like herbalism, okay? It's well overlooked. Teachers are very important, especially for me. I have a son, and I have a son that's a fairly young age. My son still is at the age to where he needs to learn reading and writing and arithmetic and things that come along with that. Science, math, history. So you need someone, maybe someone, it doesn't have to be a teacher. Maybe it's a mom that's homeschooled. You know, she's got different age children and she's homeschooled. That's a very, very important person to have. And these people might not be people that are tactical minded. They might be fearful of guns, or they might not like being put in a tactical situation, so they might be more at home in the center of your base, okay, dead center of your base, well protected, with all of the children surrounding them, taking care of them, nourishing your children, and helping your children grow in the aspect of learning, okay? So I think that's really important, and those people are very important, just like it would be to have someone that's a medical doctor or your OPSEC guy, okay? A gardener. I think a gardener, and I'm just not talking about a gardener that grows in rows. I mean, those are good, you know, if that's all you can find, that's good. But you need someone that's permaculture minded. You need someone that knows how to grow, and no one know, unless they're, you know, they know herbs and things like that. You want someone to walk through your garden really, unless they have a trained eye, not really know that they're walking into a garden, okay? This is a permaculture way. Basically, you're going to grow the way nature does, okay? You're going to mimic nature. You don't want to grow in rows. I've already done a video on that, guys. I think it was like the best survival garden to have or something. Let me just give you an example. Let's say you got drones, or let's say you've got someone flying over and they see maybe rows of gardens. Okay, you know, you've got planted rows, definitive rows that you can see not only from the ground, but you can see aerial. They're going to know people live there, okay? They're going to know how many people live there based upon the size of the garden. Now, if you were growing permaculture-wise, you're less likely, and I'm not saying it's not possible, like I said, again, for a trained eye, there's no way that I'm going to walk into a garden, even a permaculture garden, and I'm not going to know that this is a garden. But that's just me. Other people may be not as trained as far as that goes, and they may just walk right on by, see a blueberry, pluck a berry, and just walk on through and not even know. So you have less likely of a chance of getting, revealing where your location is, how many people you're feeding, how many people are present, so on and so forth, by working permaculture. And if you have a gardener that's permaculture minded, someone that knows how to basically garden off grid using compost, you know, chickens, using animals to do some of the work for you, that's also a very, very good person to have. Alternative energy. Now, I'm going to put a broad spectrum here on alternative energy. Now, this could be anyone that knows any kind of alternative energy, whether it be using water, whether it be using the solar rays, whether it be like an automotive technician type that can transform a vehicle running off of gas into running off of, you know, grease, oil. You know, those vehicles drive down the road and end up smelling like French fries. Okay, so that's a very good skill to have. That's a person that can typically step back and look at something, maybe scavenge for some parts here and there, and then put together a nice solar panel. So that's a good person to have. So alternative energy. A general contractor. Now, you might say, well, that's not really, you know, if you're trying to hide. But let me explain something to you. I grew up in a family where my uncle worked in construction. I have a lot of family working in construction, own their own business and things like that. Having a general contractor, they have more general knowledge, okay, of building. Now, this can include different types of buildings. It doesn't have to include survival types. Now, one of the aspects to my skill set is just basic primitive living. And that's very important to have as well. But if you're maybe not into the hiding, maybe you don't really need to hide from someone, you just need to reestablish a community. Anybody that can work with wood and that can build anything from the ground up and it be nice and stable, like you would live in a home today, that's an important person to have. They're also good laborers. They can work with other laborers within your mag. Technician. Now, we've got this covered in my group. Now, this can be anybody that works with machines, so a machinist down to an automotive technician, a diesel technician, anybody that's tractor-wise, anybody that can see a machine with metal running parts and fix something, okay? They can pull parts off of something else and put it on another. That's a good person to have. A metal worker, so a blacksmith, you know, you can do someone, yeah, a gunsmith is good to have, but that kind of falls into the tactical aspect. So if I'm going to pick somebody that's tactical minded, if I'm going to bring anybody else that's tactical minded into my group, or medical minded, they need to be highly skilled. Okay, so I'm not just going to bring another mouth in to feed that doesn't offer me some high skills that I don't already have in my group. So as far as a metal worker goes, that's someone that can take bare metal and turn it into a weapon, or turn it into something that you can now use. Anybody that has, and you might have a few guys within your group that can help that person, but you want to have a specialist in all these groups. Now, let me recap here with all of this information, guys. You do not want to have your OPSEC guy or your medical doctor cooking dinner. Okay, you just don't want it to work like that. At no point in time should any of these people on this list that I just gave you really communicate with each other in the aspect of, hey, what am I doing today? You should never wake up and go, what's my job today? You should just like go into work. You don't wake up and go, hey, what's my job? I mean, you might say, hey, boss, what's my tasks for today? However, you know what your job is. You've got a label. You know, you're a mechanic, or you're a doctor. You're, you know, metal worker. You don't have to ask, what do I do? How do I contribute? You should never have your teacher wondering who's going to be teaching the kids today. Like, is this me? Everything should work independently and work well as a community should. Now, of course, there's always going to be people that are going to ask questions. You have to excuse me. Sorry, that was my phone. But you never, again, guys, want to have people sitting around going, well, I don't know what I'm doing today. No. Everything should work smoothly, and again, you should never have your OPSEC guys taken down from their post to go cook dinner because, you know, the sun's going down and dinner needs to be cooked. This is something that needs to be well thought out and well processed. And so if you're a person that has any of these skills and you come to me and you say, Herbal Prepper, I would like to join your group, after I run through the protocols within my group that I've established before we've allowed anybody in, whether this be pre-crap hits the fan or after, there's still things that I have to go through a protocol. But if you have any of those skills, after talking it over with my group, I don't see at all why we would have any problem letting you in and giving you our resources, because we're going to be getting a lot back from you. So guys, I hope this video was a blessing to you. Until next time.